Welcome to Defending Digital. I'm Chad Warner. Today I'd like to show you a few ways you can use the LastPass password manager to create and store stronger passwords. So here I have the LastPass icon in my browser, so I've got it installed already. And what I'm going to do is first we'll look at how to create longer passwords. So I'm going to go down to Generate Secure Password. And I have mine set to 20 characters. I recommend at least 15. Now, if you run into websites or apps that do not accept as many characters as you're trying to use, then what you can do is just start deleting characters off the end of the password. So let's say you created it with 20, they only allow 10. You can just delete 10 off of it in order to reach their limit. But you want to use as many then at least as they allow if it's a smaller number. So the longer the password, the better. Each additional character in the password makes it exponentially stronger, makes it harder to crack. So another thing that you want to do is make sure that your password is complex enough, and this password generator helps with that too, because you can choose from multiple character classes. So the more classes of characters that are involved in your password, the stronger it is, because it takes more time and effort to search through all of the different combinations that are possible. So you've got uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols or special characters. I recommend having all 4 of these enabled. Now, again, you may run into accounts that don't accept those. So, some of them don't accept special characters. So if you uncheck that, then it will create you a new password that does not include those. And then next time you come by, you can turn that back on for the next password that you create. But you want to use as many as you are allowed to use. Something else that you want to do is make sure that you're securely storing your passwords. Now, LastPass is taking care of a lot of this already. They have great security built into the system. You need to enter your master password in order to even use LastPass. A few extra things that you can do. So if you go into your preferences, you'll see here there's a setting for automatically logging out when all of your browsers are closed. So I do recommend doing this. That way, even if someone somehow gets access to your account, your device when you're logged into your operating system, then at least you would be logged out of LastPass if your browsers are closed. You can also have it log out automatically after a certain amount of time that you've been idle. So if you're not using your device, it can log you out after a certain amount of time, and you can just specify the number of minutes that would be. So that's another option there. You can also have individual entries in LastPass prompt for your LastPass master password again. So if I go and edit one of these, here's just a fake account I created, and under the advanced settings, there's an option for requiring your password reprompt. So this way, even if someone got access to your device while you're logged into LastPass, in order for them to use these credentials or view these credentials, they would have to know your master password. So that's something that's worth doing for really any sensitive accounts. I would especially recommend that for financial or medical accounts. Another layer of security that you can use is multi-factor authentication. So to do that, we go in here to open my vault, account settings, takes a minute to open. And there's a tab here for multi-factor options. So you've got a few different options here. You have a few different apps that you can install on your phone or tablet that allows you to generate one-time codes. So Google Authenticator, this also works with the Authy app. And so we've got that enabled. There are some other options, biometrics, things like fingerprints, some hardware devices, smart cards, YubiKey. So I've got that enabled here. Have my default set to the YubiKey. So I would definitely recommend, if you have a hardware device, enable that. If you have an app, definitely get one of those and enable that. Something else that you can do here is securely share through LastPass. So if I jump back here to this account that I have, let's say I want to share this with someone who also uses LastPass, then I can click share here, and all I need to use is their email address, whatever email address they have associated with their LastPass account. I can type that in here or select it from the list if I've already shared with them in the past. And then you can choose whether you want them to view the password. So if you don't, then they're still able to use that to log in, and that generally works. There are some websites that, just because of the way that their login process works, it breaks that. but most of the time that works. However, if you want them to be able to see the password for whatever reason, you can check that box, and that allows them to actually see it. Now, regardless of what you choose here, you are able to unshare in the future. So you can go through and see all the accounts that you've shared, and you can unshare them. Of course, if you've never allowed them to view the password, then you can be pretty confident that they don't have that password anywhere. But if you have allowed them to view it, then there's always the chance that they have saved that somewhere else. And even by you revoking the account in LastPass, they still have a copy of it somewhere. So something to keep in mind whether when you choose to share or not share there. Something else that's cool about LastPass is they have this security challenge, which will analyze all of the entries in your vault and tell you if you have any passwords that have been compromised, any that are weak, so they're too short or they're not complex enough, any that have been reused. You don't want to reuse passwords across accounts, because if someone gets hold of one of those, they're going to go try it all over the web. And so you don't want to have duplicate passwords. Any that are old are at least worth considering changing, depending on how old they are and what type of accounts they're for. And definitely, if you've had any of those involved in a breach, then you want to change those passwords, because those are out there. So a bunch of ways that LastPass can be used to better create and store your passwords. You can learn more about LastPass as well as other digital security and privacy topics at defendingdigital.com.